This week 2 NFL recap and Monday Night Football props edition of the Sports Gaming Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. Winning season is back, and MyBookie is now offering a 100% deposit bonus when you use the promo code SGP. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGP to play, win, and get paid. We're also brought to you by the leaders in daily fantasy, DraftKings. For a limited time, new users can get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes this week. Don't miss out on the week 3 action. Enter code SGP to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. That's code SGP only at DraftKings. We're also brought to you by BetQL. Want to get an advantage over the sportsbook with NBA, NHL, college football, MLB, and the NFL back in action? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets this season. Head to betql.co and enter code SGP20 for 20% off your first subscription. That's betql.co, promo code SGP20. Finally, we're brought to you by Ace Per Head. Ace is the leader in pay per head providers, and they make it super easy to start your own sportsbook. Plus, Ace is offering up to 6 weeks free over at aceperhead.com/SGP. That's aceperhead.com/SGP. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer dog?
You know what happened just now, Sean, before the podcast? I told the children, I know it's time for bed, but grab the bacon, grab the eggs, because we got to get cooking just like our guy Russ. Oh my God.
5 touchdowns for Russell Wilson. We're recording this right after the Sunday night game.
Underrated how bad Pete Carroll is as a coach sometimes.
He really
unbelievable.
I mean, the decision to, and maybe it wasn't called that way to take that deep shot on 3rd and 1. But what are you doing throwing that? I mean, it's hard to criticize Russell Wilson. He had an amazing game. He's had a great season, 5 touchdowns. He truly was
unlimited.
And we made fun of his nickname, but the guy is just, he really is unlimited.
There's a couple guys in full blown FU mode early in the season.
Yeah.
You got to throw Russ in there. I don't know who else joins him. Maybe Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, danger Russ, full effect. That was actually a great game by New England as well. And I mean, you know, we were always
fucking A. Why is Cam Newton on the Patriots? What is every other team doing? Like, why?
And
I mean, I get it.
He's taking coaching. He's running the ball, playing hard.
Like, for those saying he fucked up at the end of the game, that play hadn't been stopped yet, and this is only his 2nd game in that system. I'd be very worried if I was an backed an AFC team. Now, not me though. I'm not worried at all, Sean.
No,
not worried in the NFC.
Well, worried would imply that you ever had any expectations, hope. I mean, Ryan, I have hope that was crushed. You knew your team was going to suck.
All rise. The culture in that second half, the bench, they were hyped up. They were fighting for. Oh my God! Why?
They were rallying around Barkley as he was carted off.
I'll
ACL.
say this: they weren't doing this with Ben McAdoo or Pat Shurmur. So we're taking a step in the right direction.
All right. So any other thoughts from New England, Seattle? I mean, that was just a great game. It was a fun back and forth.
So I had this moment. I was hanging out with the lady. We're watching Sunday Night Football, and she turns around and goes, "Why is your heart racing?" I'm like, "Well, see, I needed the Seahawks to win by 5 or more." Sees the score. It's exactly 5. Got to watch me sweat out that I mean, I thought 100% Cam was going to score. They hadn't come close to stopping him on that play yet. So it was a great game. I would say both teams, very, very great effort. The NFC West is they're just slaying right now. Only one loss in the division.
And they're talking about, in the chat, they're saying he should have thrown the ball. I mean, they drew up the play. They called the play. Cam's not going to audible out of that. They had it well blocked. It was just, Seattle made a better play on the goal line stop.
Teams getting tired. That's something that was noticeable. But I mean, look, you're not upset. Cam drove him down the field for a chance to win. You wouldn't have necessarily said he was going to do that had he had the chance going into this game in a shootout. If you said the Seahawks scoring 35 points, no way the Patriots are keeping up. So kudos to. Well,
that's the new look cooking Seahawks, who are just. And quietly, maybe the story here is what's up with Seattle's defense? Like, I mean, they let up a bunch of points against the Falcons. Now, granted, that a lot of that was in garbage time, and they let up a decent number of points, 30 points at home to the Patriots. And God bless Bill Belichick whatever analytics, whatever big data told him to go for that 2-point conversion. So he didn't get it. And we went big on Seattle -4. So thank you, Bill. Shout out to you, Bill. We're going to give out a gambling game ball. He's definitely a nominee after we break through all these.
Don't steal my moments.
Kramer, of course, we're presented by mybookie.ag. I don't know for how long, because I'm already seeing guys in the chat. Thanks for all the picks, giving you all the winners. Eventually, one day, we will break the bank over at mybookie.ag. Promo code SGP. Not only do they give you 100% deposit bonus, tons of live wagering, the prop builder.
Oh yeah,
and we're gonna get into this after we recap the games. Going to talk Monday Night Football prop bets. We're gonna give our 3 favorite prop bets and a first touchdown to score. And I also think a hashtag DGens only.
Hashtag DGens only.
50-1.
God bless the people over at my bookie, but they have like, the regular prop bets. And then they have like, okay, plus 5,000. I'm looking at my sheet here, Ryan, with all my bets. I already put in a bet that is plus 9,100.
9,100. Okay.
Thank you for participating.
I meant to hit this.
Oh my God.
Plus 9,100 for the Monday night game. So a $10 bet would win you $910. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get through the picks. Bengals 35. Cleveland. Oh, you wrote this wrong. Cleveland 35. Bengals 30. I had the Bengals plus 6. You had Cleveland -6. This was, the backdoor was just hanging around all game.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow threw the ball 61 times, looked kind of sharp. I don't know what else to expect from this.
I'm not on the high. All right, look, I don't think I'm ready to say Cleveland's a good team. I do think people are getting very excited about Joe Burrow.
Well, he's a young quarterback,
shying down the field.
Well, first off, he has a lot of poise. He has a lot of confidence. I mean, the way he took a bunch of hits, stands in the pocket, the way he looks downfield, he's checking a lot of boxes, Ryan. And I get it. You have a young quarterback. You want to throw shade on Joe Burrow.
I'm not trying to throw shade.
Well,
I'm just saying people are crowning him. You want to crown him? Crown his ass.
He's a fun quarterback. I'm enjoying some Joe Burrow. Falcons 39, Cowboys 40. Jesus Christ! As if the Eagles losing wasn't painful enough. Then we had my solace was okay. Here's how I rank things. Did the Eagles win? Yes or no. Past 2 weeks, it's been a no. I'm really pissed off. Did I hit my lock? This case, I did hit my lock. We'll get to that. And then did the Cowboys lose? Week 1, they lost in a tough fashion Sunday night, and now they were getting blown out by the Falcons. At one point, the Falcons had a 98% win total. Whatever horrible thing. Now, Mercedes-Benz Superdome possibly built on an Indian burial ground. Whatever happened to this team? They've cursed the gambling gods, and they're spiting them left and right. We saw a first successful onside kick. The guys, they just stood there and watched it roll 10 yards. I think maybe they thought it was going to go out of bounds. Unclear.
Quick related but unrelated anecdote. I coach youth soccer. Sean.
Yes.
And I've had some conversations, passionate conversations with parents who, maybe they observe my practices and maybe they don't like what I'm teaching, because I go over a lot of the basics early in the season. I go over the obvious shit, what to do when the ball goes out of bounds, like
situational soccer.
So because when I go out there, I want to make sure my team isn't the team that looks like a bunch of buffoons and has no idea what to do. What I saw with this Atlanta Falcons team is I see once again a team that is just locked and loaded from a talent perspective. And somehow special teams is all coaching. Special teams is all being in the right place and effort. It's all coaching. And these motherfuckers surrounded the ball like they didn't know they could touch it. We were already having a deep dive into how dumb special teams coaches are with the onside kick. Kudos to the Cowboys special teams coach. Tried something different, and guess what, Sean? You get a different result. Dan Quinn should be fired. Period. No excuse.
Hot.
Sean, I saw this
on the hot seat.
I saw this on the Twitterverse that not only did Tulane at one point in that game have a 0.1% chance of winning, but Dallas today had a 0.1% chance at some point in that game of winning the game. And Atlanta, once again, like they did in the Super Bowl, up 28-3 at half, they fucking blew it. That's coaching. When you blow shit like this, it's coaching. the players, that offense is good. They're wasting some shit there. I'd be really upset if I was a Falcons fan.
Yeah. And Dan Quinn's supposed to be a defensive coach.
But that's coaching. I'm sorry. It's all coaching. Let's
Bills,
keep saying coaching.
Bills 31, Dolphins 28. And you told me in the Picks podcast, Sean, you love the Florida team at home, September angle. What are you doing laying the points with the Bills? And I got maybe a little cute, Bill Fever, Bill Mafia. The fact that Josh Allen and Mike Gesicki had huge breakout games. My number one fantasy football quarterback, number one fantasy football tight end. I was getting hyped and jacked for this game, and I thought the Bills could cover, and they had that late touchdown to get up 10. I'm like, all right, we're set. And then Fitzmagic, of course, drives them down and gets the back door there.
We discussed this as we were watching the game. Sean, you're going to be bummed out when you don't get to root for Fitzpatrick coming down the field for the backdoor cover. So yeah, I mean, this felt like the right, again, it was that whole negative spot to a positive spot. So it felt like the time to take the Dolphins and sorry, I didn't mean Tulane. I meant Navy. Navy was the team that came back, not Tulane.
Yeah. Kramer already getting corrected in the chat.
Sorry.
Woo, it's smoking my weed.
Willie checking in on the live YouTube chat. And of course, all these Sunday night podcasts broadcast live on our YouTube stream, saying this is the podcast I need.
Oh, hello.
Hell yeah, Willie. Love
Peace and love, bro.
Hopefully you got the Picks podcast. Cause we both had, well, in particular me, I had a great, what was my final record?
Sean, I've hit my lock. I've hit my tees.
Yes. We both hit our locks. Your lock was Seattle -4, mine Green Bay -6.
And my dog is now outstanding.
Yep. You have the Vegas Raiders +200. I had Broncos +280.
Sean, you're 10-5 on the week overall.
Yes. And then I hit my tees, although the one leg Kansas City -3 was a push. All right. Carolina 17, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31. We both took the Panthers getting 9 points. Kind of a ugly-ish game. The Bucks and Tom Brady, Tampa Bay got right that, we were kind of on that. Christian McCaffrey now is injured. I think it's like his first major injury. We'll see how long he's out there getting a
fucking
MRI done on his knee.
If you have survived, like if you have a fantasy football team that has survived all of these injuries, kudos to you. Cause I mean, this is going to be a rough year. If this is any indication of what we're going to deal with here, I don't know. God, do you love how much the announcers love Tom Brady's passion? Oh, look at him! Look, he's still got
fired up.
Look at the way he still can connect with his players. No, he can't. TB12.
Yeah, and any interesting fantasy thing? Well, LaShawn McCoy got involved in the receiving game. That was kind of surprising. 5 catches. Maybe he's
dropped a clear touchdown.
Yeah. Scotty Miller though, no show. I thought our boy Scotty Miller would show up there. Evans had a great game, 7 for 104 and a touchdown. Brady back to some degree, but not like a crazy high scoring game that people might have thought coming into this.
They played the Panthers and we still don't know. The Panthers still might be the worst team in the league. So let's not get
they back points a little bit.
They backdoored him.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette. Because
was that Fournette or Jones that broke off that big run
in the Leonard Fournette? Only a way Leonard Fournette could. He didn't do the smart thing to kneel it down and end the game. He wanted to get in that end zone, cover the spread. So
guys are worrying about their fantasy teams.
They backdoored the Panthers. Congratulations.
Broncos 21, Pittsburgh 26. I was taking the points there +7.5. You were laying it, Ryan, and the Broncos were hanging around. Drew Lock got knocked out of the game, shoulder injury. Driscoll came in and looked competent. Had a couple nice throws there. Big Ben still solid-ish. We'll see.
Sutton went out again with a knee injury.
Yeah,
it kind of seems like this Broncos team. You look at Lindsey out, Von Miller out. It's starting to look like one of those seasons where maybe it's pack it up. Maybe they're getting Trevor Lawrence. Is Drew Lock the guy?
I think this Denver team is still decent enough. I mean, tough loss in Pittsburgh and tough loss at home to the Titans. I mean, they were in both games. We'll see if they can turn it around. I'm still somewhat optimistic, but Driscoll 18 for 34, 2 touchdowns and an interception. We'll see how long Locke is out because that could be. I mean, that'll be huge. But James Conner, everyone was loading up Benny Snell in their waiver wire, but Conner can't. Yeah. Well, apparently late he was okay, and then had a big day fantasy wise and getting the running going. And Deontay Johnson, a guy we threw out on the DFS podcast,
as Capper texted me and basically berating James Conner for not having enough fitness to make it to the end zone and cover that spread back up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So. Certainly another game that kind of came down to a long running back run. He just didn't have it. He got caught, tackled. Pittsburgh didn't get the cover. I said it when it happened. That's safety. When that blocked punt didn't get covered up and got squeaked out of the back of the end zone for the safety, it was huge. Big Ben then throws the pick after the safety free kick. The rest is history. You get the lucky cover.
Packers 42, Lions 21. My lock, the Packers, Green Bay -6. A bit of a game though. I mean, Detroit got out to a lead early. It was starting to get nervous. We had Green Bay in our survivor contest. Are we really going to get knocked out by Matt Patricia, a coach with 9 career wins?
Your peak level of being pissed off was when the Eagles were down. Maybe what was it 14-3 at one point? And I think the Lions were up by 10. It was not looking good.
Early on in the day, it was a rough start. Things turned around.
Not that it got much better, but.
Yeah, well,
my bets were fine.
Packers dominated though. Second half, especially 42-21, had a pick 6 off Stafford and just cruised. Jags 30, Titans 33. Titans were laying 8.5. Jags were in this game the entire time. I mean, even that last drive, they were in it. They had a chance to win or tie with a field goal and just couldn't pull it off. But Minshew again, just looking really good, and
it's impressive.
Really, to me, it's more about this Jags defense. If they can slow down teams a little bit, I think they'll have a decent team. They are 1-1 right now. We'll see. Ryan, where are you at with the Jaguars?
I came into this liking Tennessee as a spot, and if had I taken I would have taken Tennessee. Had you not spoken to me on the Picks podcast and say Green Bay is the way to go this week, I would have taken Tennessee. It would have been a sweat. I you know what? I'm not betting against Gardner Minshew for a little while. We're just going to watch this team because there were times where you're like, oh yeah, there you go. Tennessee up 14. They're just going to, but they don't give up. Like there's something to was it Chark that you pulled out the captain quote that they wanted him there. There's clearly something going on.
There's a little mojo for the Jags, and it's really going to be a Sophie's Choice Thursday Night Football. Ryan Fitzmagic versus Gardner Minshew. Just two alphas. What's going to go wrong? Eagles 19, Rams 37. Eagles look like just complete dog shit. Failure at all 3 levels of the game. Wentz just continues to struggle. I mean, in the Redskins game, at least that first half, he looked really sharp and then just unraveled. This game, he had a couple moments where he had some momentum going, some drives. I mean, but he just needs to play better. I don't know. Like if people are going to call for Hurts, I don't think that's going to help this team. He's a rookie who didn't play in a pro system. And I wasn't even high on Hurts when they drafted him. It would have been nice if they drafted a linebacker in the second round. Thigpee or whatever his name is. Fuck that guy. We don't have a linebacker who can cover for shit. There's no energy, no juice. I mean, Wentz has played like shit, but I really think it's on Doug Peterson because it's just been a complete failure for the entire team. They're at home next week against the Bengals.
Yep.
Luckily, they're in the NFC East, where the other teams also suck pretty hard. So there's still hope left. They're 1 game out, but I mean, it's just been ugly so far.
Tough day for the folks in the Doug Peterson is a better coach than Sean McVay camp.
Well,
got undressed today.
And
partner in crime, Carson Wentz.
I think a lot of it you can blame on Jim Schwartz. Like they come in with this Rams, this scheme of just bootleg after bootleg after bootleg. And you have to know they're going to be doing that. The defensive ends are not containing the bootleg at all. They're getting sucked in every play. It's frustrating to watch them lose the same way day in, day out. But yeah, there's no leadership, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They really miss Malcolm Jenkins' role there. And Fletcher Cox, you're paying that guy so much fucking money. And you watch the game and it's like, did he do anything? Not really.
Wow.
What?
No, it's just it's falling apart already. Yeah, it seems as though
I mean we're still better than the Giants.
Carson Wentz is 0-2 is 0-2. Right? The way they measure wins and losses in the National.
I mean, we may go 2-14, only beating the Giants twice. You guys are going to go 0-16, right?
We're not talking about the Giants right now. We're talking about the Eagles and the quote unquote franchise quarterback Carson Wentz. It's almost as if he is aware of how porous the defense is and is putting too much pressure on his shoulders because he's making just bad throws.
Yeah,
and I mean it's not like a mistake. It's just they're just bad They're throws that we watched Herbert make. We're like, oh, okay, there's a rookie throw. You can't make those throws.
Yeah, he's trying to win the Super Bowl with every throw, and he just puts too much on it, forces thing where they don't need to be forced, and just look like complete dog shit. So
and Jared Goff sucks islands. Unfortunately, the fumigation's gonna last another week.
But really, like I could succeed in that Rams system where Sean McVay.
Oh yes.
I mean, really, like, do you think you? From those games you watch of Jared Goff. I
just want to watch you run one like play action bootleg with a DN unblocked coming at your face.
Literally, anytime you put Jared Goff in a situation where he has to make a read between one receiver to the next, he fails. All he does is they scheme up. And kudos to him for scheming up a system that can make Jared Goff look good. So that's the ultimate compliment. Colts 28, Vikings 11. Indy -3. That probably would have been my next lock. We played it in the super contest, the Circa Millions, if you will. And Circa Millions right now, Ryan, we are what? 7-2-1.
We got to be 10 doing games. Pretty good.
Yeah. So we should be in the mix there. Midway through the fourth quarter, Cousins had a 1.5 QB rating. At one point, he was 6 for 20 for 59 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This
wasn't in prime time. What happened?
No, I don't know. I mean, I understand why their defense is falling apart because they lost so many starters, putting in a bunch of rookies. But I mean, they lost Stephon Diggs, but you still have Adam Thielen, you still have Dalvin Cook. Like, why, as they have their defense or offense just completely falling apart? Vikings 2 weeks they've had 2 safeties, back-to-back weeks with the safety. Pretty impressive.
I think this was just an instant regression game. They kind of gave up way too many points, or way more points than they should have against the Jacksonville Jaguars in that weird spot.
Well, and
you know what it is? We got to figure out a name for Jacksonville, like Bermuda Triangle-esque, like weird shit goes on in the Minshew swamps. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Indy just regressed quickly. This is going to be a tough team to beat at home if the defense is playing like this. I know Minnesota looked like shit, but I don't think this was all just Minnesota looking like shit. I think Indy's defense played well.
Yeah, them at home, I think will be a tough out. Bears 17, Giants 13. Ryan, you had the Giants getting 5.5 points, so you won. Congratulations. Chicago had some opportunities to extend the lead, couldn't do it, but Mitchell Trubisky 2-0 as a starter in 2020. I thought they'd be able to create more turnovers. They were able to create some. Certainly, Daniel Jones, couple interceptions,
the Kramer fumbles. The Kramer FML tour has been quiet lately, but they popped up for a little festival action.
You did get the cover, Ryan, so that's something to hang your hat on. And then, of course, Saquon Barkley out for the season.
God damn it!
Any thoughts on the Saquon Barkley 2020 campaign?
I mean, I don't know what's there to say. I guess it prevents him from needing a new contract for a year.
Oh wow!
But
do they re-sign Saquon Barkley?
You know, isn't it funny how you go from a guy who's never gotten hurt in his life to a guy who's now injury prone? It's tough, and I guess we'll see. Maybe this helps Gettleman get out of that situation. Honestly. I mean, the problem is now they have no running backs. Wayne Gallman, maybe, I don't know.
Close personal friend Wayne Gallman. He did wish you a happy birthday.
I guess.
Granted, it was on Cameo because I paid him $40.
I guess we'll have to pick up Wayne Gallman just to see. Now, I look, the team. Here's the positive: the coach is clearly doing something right. The team was still putting forth that. I mean, Saquon Barkley goes out. I remember what happened last year when Saquon Barkley went out. The team was like as if someone died. And they didn't want to play the rest of the game. In this case, there was a little fight. Even when Shepard went out, there was some fight there. There was guys trying to fucking win the game. Right. Unfortunately,
you were sounding like a soccer coach here with your moral victories or your moral losses.
They cover the fucking spread. All right, good teams win. Great teams cover, Sean. The first and foremost. Secondly, Yeah, the Kramer FML tour fucking sucks. And once again, I mean, they could have just let Barkley play the season. The Giants can still suck. You don't have to get Barkley hurt second game of the season. Torn ACL. Have they reported it officially yet?
My sources are saying torn ACL. Speaking of torn ACLs, lot of injuries in this game. 49ers 31, Jets 13. I laid the 7.5. Kramer, you took the Jets for some reason, in spite of me.
Gross spot. I was warning everyone.
Yeah, you also said you thought you were getting cute there. You were.
I did say that.
Jimmy G, high ankle sprain. Nick Bosa, ACL.
Did you hear
out for the season? Solomon Thomas, possible ACL. Mostert, MCL sprain.
Did you hear what those pussies from the West Coast said?
What'd they say?
They were complaining about the turf.
Oh, maybe
Giants and Steelers played there last week. No problems. No problems.
Well, I mean, Giants aren't that athletic, and Saquon Barkley did blow out his ACL the following day. So maybe, or
in
following
Chicago.
week. Yeah, but maybe the ACL started loosening
so
up
you're
on that.
condoning whiny bitches from the West Coast complaining about the field.
They still, even with all those injuries, they still won by 18 points. This is pretty impressive. On 3rd and 31, the 49ers ran a draw play and picked up 55 yards. Like, how bad is this Jets team? I mean, I even threw this out last week when we were talking about the super contest or the Circa Millions contest. I go, or even the Survivor. I'm like, let's just put 49ers in there. Let's just whoever the Jets are playing. That's who we're starting. And then we got away from it because all the injuries and whatever, and maybe the Jets would show up in this spot, but man, the Jets are bad. Adam Gase, how does this man still have a job?
Well, I think you might be alluding to who we're taking in Survivor next week as the Colts host the Jets.
Yes, that could be a little bloodbath. Kramer, DraftKings, baby. Oh man. End of week 2, but don't worry, week 3 still plenty of shots, opportunities for millions of dollars in prizes over at DraftKings. Make sure you use that promo code SGP for a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes. DraftKings has paid out billions of dollars to winners since 2012. They know a thing or two about cold hard cash. Download the DraftKings app now and use code SGP for a limited time. New users can get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes this week. Again, don't miss out on the week 3 action. Enter code SGP to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. That's code SGP only at DraftKings. Make it rain. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Afternoon games, kind of interesting. I mean, we'll get to it in a second, but Arizona 30, the football team 15. I had Arizona laying 6.5. Kramer, you took the football team.
Got cute.
You did. A little cute. You don't need to get cute.
I was like 50% of my cute plays.
Yeah. I don't know. The Jets. You don't need to take these teams. Chargers. You're right. That is one.
Miami.
There
you go.
Someone in the chat is calling you out for Josh Allen's eyes. Not so close together now, are they?
The highs are high, the lows will be low. That's what you have to deal with a close-eyed quarterback.
But the Skins Arizona game, Kyler went off.
He's they might be good. The D Hop thing is a big deal.
I thought their defense would still need to figure out a lot of stuff, but
I would argue it's the difference between where they are and where Houston is.
Yeah, and I would say this though, I like everything I've seen out of this Arizona team. Just going to pump the brakes a little bit because Redskins on the road and this 49ers team.
I'm sorry.
Clearly,
you mean the football team on the road?
I think this 49ers team may reveal itself to be not that good, and especially as time goes by.
You meant the Cardinals, right?
What do you mean?
We're talking about Cardinals football team. So you were saying pump the brakes on the Cardinals.
Yes.
Okay. You said the 49er. I was just clarifying for
No, I said pump the brake on the Cardinals because they've played the football team and the 49ers who aren't that good.
Gotcha.
That was my take.
Agreed.
Ravens 33, Houston 16, Baltimore, both on Baltimore, laying the 7. Again, Lamar just dominant performance, and Houston's defense is just complete dog shit.
And again, though, they only scored 16 points. Really could use a dominant number 1 wide receiver. Really wish, maybe they should look to get one of those in the draft.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's a deep.
I know part of it is a talent thing with their offensive line, but you just need better coaching at some point. Like these guys can't be that bad.
No, it's just wasting Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun Watson holds on to the ball too long to some degree, but he really.
What's he gonna do?
Well, they need to run a better offense to get him so he's not sacked constantly.
In that offense, what's he gonna do? He's trying to make plays.
Chiefs 23, Chargers 20. A surprise start by Justin Herbert. Tyrod re-aggravated a chest injury before the game, and Chargers were up at one point.
Said he had to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
that sounds a lot like something more than just like a bruise.
Well, I'm guessing what happened was he had some rib issue going on, and then in warmups he felt chest tightness or pain in his chest. So they took him to the hospital to make sure it wasn't a heart attack. But I bet you he will be back. And
Anthony Lynn has said he's playing when he's healthy.
Which, why would you do that? I mean, we were sitting there watching Justin Decker watch the Chargers with the quarterback, and Herbert looked. I mean, he's a rookie, but he was exciting. He was interesting.
This is my quarter. This is my quarter.
And
I'm gonna go. I got to think about this being my.
It was just interesting watching Decker like attach himself to a new quarterback, but. When they were in overtime and it was like 4th and 3 near midfield, and we both say Chargers have to go for it. Decker's like, no, what are you doing? You got to punt here. It's like, no, Decker. What's going to happen is the Chiefs are going to just drive down and kick a field goal and win the game. He's like, no, our defense is good. It's like, no, Decker, you can't give the ball back to the Chiefs in overtime. You just can't.
Looked good, but all of these teams were getting tired. You saw it.
Yes.
So the overtime just crushed them. They were just tired.
The announcers were like, Joey Bosa not on the sidelines for this play, and Justin's like, he's tired. Let the man rest.
He was tired. He was really busted.
No, I know, but come on, you're in the fucking National Football League. You don't get tired. Joey Bosa, he was fun to watch. Then a great game to close it out. Sunday Night Football. To close out our circa million and put us at 4-1, and in the Odds Shark Capper Cup, we're going to be right up there in the mix because you have 1 point, one pick that's worth 2 points. That was Seattle for us, and then the rest of the picks we were 3-1, so we picked up 5 points on the competition. Not a bad week. Seattle 35, Patriots 30.
Hell of a game. Fun back and forth affair. I mean, to me, the highlight was Bill Belichick going for 2 I don't know what card he has. Maybe his blackjack card is a little different where it says to go for it there. I get the theory, and I love the fact that he didn't get that, made that -4 look so much sweeter. I think it's for the next score. I think it's one of those, like, you rather be down 4 than 6 because if there's any additional scoring, you're gonna put yourself in a pacing to not need an additional 2 point. That being said, I was surprised. I was surprised to see it because I mean, it was nice, and it was nice that they really shit the bed on it too because it never had a chance.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, Russ, man, I love that I got a Russ to win the MVP. I got Russ and the Seahawks to have the most regular season wins, and I have Russ and the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. John, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, we were big on Seattle preseason, and they've just been looking amazing. Also, just to pat myself on the back even more. Big game from DK Metcalf, another guy that I've just been nonstop talking about fantasy wise. That was a great ball, great catch, and I loved him mixing it up with Gilmore.
Yeah.
Like they're a fun team, man. The Seahawks team. We'll see.
But man, why was this a game? Why did we have to sweat? We shouldn't have had to sweat.
Shouldn't have had to sweat it out. And we had said it at the top. 3rd and 1. You have Russell Wilson. You have these big bodied receivers. So many ways to pick up a yard. I like aggressive play calling, but at some point you're just fucking shooting yourself in the foot. All right, Kramer, gambling game ball. I'm gonna give a gambling game ball out to Matt Patricia. Congratulations. You didn't do anything to slow down Aaron Jones. Their defense seemed completely unprepared. Jones rushed 18 times, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had 4 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown, 3 total touchdowns. And he had a huge game week 1. It seemed like there was no plan to contain him, to shadow him. So God bless you, Matt Patricia. You are the winner of my gambling game ball, helping me cash tickets with my lock.
My gambling game ball, Pete Carroll for pulling Bobby Wagner over to the sideline and saying, "Listen, motherfucker, I got -4. Shut this shit down." And I mean, it was the most obvious call and also the scariest thing to do, but they sold out. They shut it down. And Sean, I will say, now that I wear an Apple Watch, I can see my heart rate.
Yeah,
it got up to like 140 during the sweat, during that final sweat. So, you know what it was? I hadn't been there in a while. A real substantial wager on a game coming down to the end. Really shouldn't have, but in a weird fucked up way, Sean, I was happy. I got I was like, well, if the Seahawks don't convert, at least I'll maybe get a sweat.
Well, and then it was awesome to just have a big swing.
But did you see Pete Carroll pull Bobby Wagner over to the sideline? Bobby Wagner runs over and he gets in his ear, just like, and then just sends him back out there.
Fired him up. Yeah, no,
great.
it's great to just have a sweat that comes down to the last play, especially, of course, when it hits. That would actually be a fun blog, is to write out like a running diary of you and your bets and your heart rate on the Apple Watch as things go up and down.
Oh, all right, man. Next weekend, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to give out some Monday Night Football prop bets. Before we do that, quick shout out to BetQL, baby. BetQL helping me out with some college football picks, NFL picks, the best bets algorithm. I think the game of the week we hit, Kramer, our BetQL game of the week. We went in on Seattle. BetQL had as a 3-star pick. They got a nice little scoring system over there. Nice little algorithm helping you get those picks. Again, it's always nice to see the sharp money, square money, tons of trends. If you like trends, really tons of freaking trends. And the app is free. All you got to do is go to the App Store, Google Play Store. You know how to download an app. You're a savvy podcast listener. And if you want the premium stuff, head to betql.co, enter code SGP20 for 20% off your first subscription, so they know that we sent you. BetQL.co, enter code SGP20 for 20% off. Bet smarter, not harder, with BetQL. Prop bets, Kramer.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you kick things off. What are you doing? Monday night, Saints Raiders. We're both on the Raiders. We picked it on the podcast at 6.
I hate that it's the last game of the weekend. I'm sweating it out. It's my dog as well, Sean. I got down a little bit on that money line. I have a additional Circa Millions contest. I have it in there. So
what was your additional, your little side action Circa Millions? What are you guys at?
What are we? I think we're 3-1 going into the game tomorrow. So.
What were you previous week?
I think 3-2.
Okay,
we're doing all right. Not as good as us, Sean. We're number
all right,
1.
That's good. That's all I want to hear.
We're the A team. Let's go right to the matchup. I think you have to attack, and you're probably going to want to attack this, especially when there's a clear guy to do it with, and that's Alvin Kamara to go over 5 receptions. We saw it with Christian McCaffrey in the first week, and just in general, I wonder how they're going to look without Michael Thomas, because not only does it affect the fact that Drew Brees just loves going to Michael Thomas, but now Sanders, who is a very good receiver, is going to get a little bit more attention. And that's going to trickle down. Also Cook. So I think Kamara is going to get a lot of the check down bullshit. And I think they're going to need to do it a decent amount. And all you really need is a couple 2-minute drills. This is going to come in easy. Kamara over 5 receptions, Sean. It's -105 right now over at mybookie.ag. So many fucking props. It's still blowing my mind.
I'm going to go Drew Brees under 2 passing touchdowns. I think they're gonna use Kamara a bunch, get him involved in the running game, and they love Taysom Hill. Yep. And Taysom Hill is in the same way we have running backs who vulture touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised if Taysom Hill vultures a touchdown from Drew Brees.
Okay.
And again, his arm strength, just there's something not right about Drew Brees throwing the ball under 2. I mean, if he throws 3 touchdowns, you're losing it. 2's a push. 1-0, you're cashing. I like where the line's at. It's only -114 at my bookie. So yeah, give me Drew Brees under 2 passing touchdowns.
It worries me because again, we're not sure. We haven't been properly calibrated on the Oakland passing defense. But I'm also with you. The road Drew Brees do not, and it's part of the reason why I like the Kamara receptions to go over. Road Drew Brees has the potential to look bad. My second one, Sean.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs will have 70 yards. That's it.
70 rushing yards.
Over. I'm doing an adjusted one here. Over 70 rushing yards. There's actually 70 or more rushing yards. It is plus 144.
Yeah.
Plus 144.
Wow, really? At 70 rushing yards?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess Saints do have a good rush defense. But yeah, I don't know, man. The way I'm seeing this game, yeah, over 70 plus 144. Jeez, that's a good price. Okay, I'm taking the loss.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread 154. Even better.
Wow. So you get a nice little plus 150 there.
I think we've only seen one game, and the Saints are boasting a pretty strong defense. But Josh Jacobs looked good, and I'm going to bet on that here for 70 yards. Didn't seem crazy. I know I'm juicing it up a little bit, but
Las Vegas Raiders total field goals over 1.5. So if the Raiders make 2 field goals, you're cashing this. I'm in. Last 4 games for the Raiders kicker. 2 out of 2, 3 out of 4, 1 for 1, and then 3 out of 4. So I would not be surprised they get stuck in the red zone. I mean, again, I think this game, I like the under. I think it's going to be a little uglier. I don't see it being a huge shootout. So I think field goals will play a role in this game, and over 1.5. That's not crazy. So yeah, give me 2 field goals.
I played this. I played your Drew Brees angle a little differently for my third prop, Sean. I did Derek Carr more passing touchdowns than Drew Brees because I can get it for plus 122. And to your point, if they 2-2, okay, it's a tie. I think this could be live. I think Drew is going to struggle on the road, and the vibes in Vegas. We don't know what that stadium's going to bring. We don't know what kind of magic, what kind of extracurricular activities going on. We don't know if anyone's going to miraculously not be suiting up. And most importantly, we still have no fucking clue what this team's really going to look like without Michael Thomas. So, yeah.
I mean, that's mostly what it comes down to. What do you think they're going to pivot off of? I'm going to take this one. It's a low prop. It's a little bit of risk here. Latavius Murray receiving yards. They're only 11 receiving yards.
It's like 1 catch though.
Yeah. And again, with no Michael Thomas, Drew Brees not being able to throw the ball down the field as good as he used to. I don't know. I'm kind of there. Over 11 receiving yards. He had 0 last game, but the previous 4 games he all went over 11 yards. So the end of last year, last 4 regular season games, he all went over 11 receiving yards. So Latavius Murray over 11 receiving yards. Kramer, give us your final pick here for the prop bets.
Is this a first touchdown then?
No. Did you give out 3 regular ones?
3. Haven't you?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Then yeah, let's go over to first touchdown. What's your first touchdown?
Man, first up, I think I'm going to go with a Raider, and I'm not going to go with Josh Jacobs. I'm going to go with Henry. With Darren Waller at 11-1. I will get to it in a little bit in the fantasy lineup, but I like the matchup here, and I especially like I like the range at 11-1. Feels like a fun target. I hate buying the running backs. The running backs just aren't fun 5-1. So I'm going to put my money on Darren Waller at 11-1. Sean, I have. We've only had a couple Monday night games. Yeah, and I have hit some first touchdowns already.
What have you already hit first touchdown?
We hit. Who did we hit last weekend? We hit. I'm going to look it up. You put me on the spot. Who's your first touchdown?
Well, I'm going back and forth here. And let me hold on. I got to pull up the Okay, first touchdown scored.
There's just so many props.
No, I know that's.
You gotta scroll around.
I'm gonna go with. I had it, and then I'm changing it. I'm gonna go. You know what? Fuck it. Give me Nelson Aguilar plus 2,400. It's a crazy long shot. But I don't know. I kind of like going for the long shots in these things. No, I think Aguilar didn't he have 1 touchdown in the first game?
I mean, really, the way to do it is just sprinkle a handful of guys.
But at plus 2,400, give me a little Nelson Aguilar. Rub some more salt in the wound of the Eagles' loss. At plus 2,400, it's worth a shot. Now, Kramer, I teased this at the beginning of the podcast. the DGens only.
Hashtag Degens only.
Well, I'm curious to you have to go first because I'm still looking up.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look on my bookie and you're playing around the prop things, they're called parlays. It just says parlays odds greater 5,000. And they have like some that are 2,000 to 5,000. Greater than 5,000 is a Degens only play. And the one I picked to go with is Darren Waller, 150 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Plus 9,100. Are you kidding me? I'm all over that. Yeah. Kramer, what are you doing? I mean, because I think Waller can have a decent game, and you saw OJ Howard. He had a receiving touchdown against the Saints, so it's not crazy that he's able to pull this off.
Well, and so what's fun about some of these is you can really get crazy, but I think the way you have fun in this one is you pick a receiver on the Saints and you pick them to go 2 touchdowns. So in this case, I'm going to go forever. I've been on this guy. I'm going to go Traquan Smith, 24-1 to have 2 touchdowns. We know Oakland secondary. There's questions, a lot of questions. Carolina scored a lot of points against them. Wouldn't be the craziest thing to see someone score 2 touchdown passes. Breeze, Peyton, they've raved about him in the offseason. This is his chance to step up. The coverage should look to Sanders and Cook and Kamara. He should have a day. So I'm going to take Traquan Smith to score 2 or more touchdowns, 24-1.
Wow. You are a freaking maniac, Ryan.
That seems fun, right?
Yeah, I'm in. All right.
Fuck it.
Still going to give out a showdown lineup for the Monday night game. Before we do that, want to just give a shout to Ace Per Head. Ever thought about starting your own sportsbook? Don't know how to do it? Ace Per Head is here to help you start your own sportsbook. They'll provide you with an all-inclusive professional betting site with all the lines updated the second, wagers graded immediately, top-notch customer support going 24/7. Some of the sharpest lines in the industry. Ace, they also offer live betting and an amazing mobile experience. Get started today. Ace is offering up to 6 weeks free over at aceperhead.com/SGP. aceperhead.com/SGP. Kramer, showdown lineup. All right. My captain, again, I like coming up with like a game script of like, okay, this is the kind of game I expect to happen. And then that's what I'm going to build my showdown lineup around. This one involves the Raiders winning and then being able to move the ball, and Derek Carr throwing a couple touchdowns. Derek Carr is my captain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know I'm not a huge Derek Carr fan, but I'm kind of going against the grain here. Derek Carr, $13,800 in the captain seat. I like them at home in the dome, and we'll see if the Saints defense travels. Kramer,
Captain Mike. I went with the Raider as well. I went with the running back. He looked tremendous, and he seems like he's going to be in for a workload in this spot. I think if Gruden thinks he knows what he has to do, it's going to be control the clock a little bit and make sure they don't get into a shootout here. So I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs here. I'm going to say, and to your point of like my thesis of what this lineup's all about, I would say this is maybe not the highest scoring game, but again, you're crazy to be taking unders in the National Football League right now. But Josh Jacobs, my captain, 14,400.
Yeah, I'm taking next up Kamara, 11,400. I you can get cute and not put Kamara in a lineup, but I think what you do is you find 2 guys in that 3,000 to like and below that are your like wild card guys that won't that other people won't have, and then other than that, you have to go chalk if you really want to be in the mix because Kamara is just going to get a ton of volume. So yeah, give me Kamara, 11,400. Kramer, are you also on Alvin Kamara?
I'm also on Kamara. So just
all right. Move on to Hunter Renfrow again.
Oh,
Ruggs is a little Henry Ruggs a little banged up. It'll be interesting to see if he actually plays. Could be a game time decision if he does play. He's not 100%. So I think Renfrow could be one of the people that benefits as far as increased targets. He only had 2 targets for 21 in Carolina, but again, I think Ruggs,
what is the book on Ruggs? What are your sources saying?
Truly questionable.
Truly questionable. That's the worst kind of.
So a lot of times those guys play through it, but then aren't 100%. Either way, I'm going with Renfrow at 5,800. Kramer.
again, I think you got to start with Waller when you're looking at the receiving core for the Raiders. 7,400. I'm just gonna stick with Waller. No need to overthink this as well. I wanted to go with the running back tight end stack here. So Darren Waller is next man up. John,
I'm also throwing Darren Waller in my lineup. 7,400, like you said. Not a huge Darren Waller guy overall, but again, this is just a target share. I think he's going to get a ton of targets. Had 8 last game. I think he could hit double digits in this game against the Saints. So yeah, give me Darren Waller for 7,400.
Next up, you want to talk kickers?
Sure.
Give me Mr. Lutz, Will Lutz, kicker for the Saints. Again, I think I'm going with a slightly lower scoring affair here. So I wanted to get a kicker in my lineup. Give me Will Lutz for 4,200.
And kickers are kind of interesting in these DraftKings showdowns. You think like, I really want a kicker, but I mean, at $4,000, you're almost getting a guaranteed producer to some degree. So it's certainly in a weird way a safe play. But if you're thinking the game's going to go under, it's going to be a little grinded out game. Not a bad idea to throw a kicker in there. I don't have a kicker in my lineup. I do have Josh Jacobs coming off a massive game, but I still think, again, how does he not get enough? I mean, he's just going to get a ton of volume still. 9,600 Kramer. So yeah, give me Josh Jacobs.
Next up for me, Latavius Murray. I'm playing Kamara and Murray here along with the kicker. I think Breeze, there's a version of this game where they're having to run the ball a little bit because Breeze isn't able to throw the ball. I'm convinced that he's just going to be complete shit out away from that dome. There's something they pump through that air, some form of weird electricity to keep Breeze active because it doesn't make sense. We're going to watch Monday Night Football and here's my prediction. We're going to watch and there's going to be at least a half dozen throws where we wonder if Drew Brees is going to be playing next week. So I'm going to stick to the running backs, going with the running back stack here to go with the kicker, Latavius Murray, 3,400, which is really cheap for a guy who gets involved,
Yeah, no, I mean, I have him going over 11 receiving yards. This is my long shot. This is the guy to win it all. Devontae Booker, who they were getting involved in the passing game, coming off of 3 targets in Carolina. I mean, again, he's $1,800 for a reason, but I think if anyone can have a random break a play off like break a tackle, get a big run, it could be Devontae Booker, and at $1,800, worth rolling the dice. So,
and my last guy, I put him on the bottom because I want him to carry the squad. Derek Carr, once named the number 4 quarterback in the entire National Football League by his brother David, 9,200. I'm stacking him here with Waller and Jacobs. Again, I thought this was an interesting construction to me. Having a kicker, 3 running backs, a tight end is interesting. So I went a different route with this one, but I did get Carr in the lineup. No Breeze in this one. 9,200. I spent every penny.
So did I, Kramer. So did I. Well, actually, let me see. Did I spend every penny?
I spent 50.
No, I still have $200 left. So
you did it.
Got a couple hundred bills.
You're supposed to spend all the money.
That's what they say. And hey, if you're listening to this, it's most certainly, or there's a high probability it's a Monday, which is Merch Monday, which means if you have a 5-star review of the Sports Gambling Podcast that you've submitted, you're in good shape because I'm going to randomly pull one and tweet it out at Gambling Podcast tomorrow and announce a winner for Merch Monday. Get a shirt or a hat. So again, get your reviews in, just Sports Gambling Podcast on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever you call it. Throw in that 5-star review and and follow us on Twitter. So when I draw the winning review, you can see it and hit us up and get your free merch. It's just that easy, Ryan. It's just that easy.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
And for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Someone needs to get Belichick a better mask.
Kramer, let it ride.